I want to take a look too at the front page of the Oz. Infection gaping hole warning is the story that they've got there tomorrow, Leisa. The Berejiklian government was warned 4 months ago about the gaping hole in Australia's biosecurity system that saw unvaccinated and unmasked drivers transport international aircrew to hotel quarantine, but rejected the advice. Now, again, they're talking about this case sparking this latest COVID outbreak. The Australian, this is the interesting bit, Leisa, the Australian understands the New South Wales Health Department knocked back a request from Transport for New South Wales to tighten rules for private vehicles driving international aircrew. In February, the New South Wales Transport Workers Union observed a taxi waiting at the marshalling bay at the Sydney airport ready to take aircrew to their destination. Public transport, rideshare vehicles and taxis aren't permitted to transport international arrivals. The cab was sitting alongside the marshalling area designated specifically for cars to pick up the flight crews. We passed this on to Transport New South Wales, who told us they would take the matter further. Our understanding is they took it to Health and the federal government to tighten up the regulation. But when a Transport New South Wales senior official went to New South Wales Health to tighten the protocol, the request was rejected, Leisa, on the grounds that the airlines were in charge. That's for a different source the Australians found for this story.
So again, we've got finger pointing and no one taking responsibility. But the lunacy here is, Jen, I don't know about you, but I've kind of found my freedom again for a little bit and did a few interstate trips for work. And the moment you get out of your car, basically at the airport, you have a mask on. You have the mask on where the only time you can take it off is have a drink or to eat something, and then it's on again on the plane until you're outside of that airport area. So if the rules are that tight for us to having to wear masks, in and around all of the airports, fine, they're the rules. When you've got the flight crew coming off, you have to look at the end game here. You have to put the rules and protections in place because suddenly it's a risk when you're inside the airport, but it's no longer a risk when you're outside the airport and getting into a private vehicle that's going to drive you, your driver's picking you up and taking you somewhere. But if you're on the bus, it's different. Again, it comes back to what we keep saying. There should be uniform rules across this country. They set up National Cabinet. We all applauded it at the time, but the rules just aren't being put in place. They're all just running their own game. And we've seen what happened in Victoria. Fingers crossed we don't end up in the same situation with New South Wales. We've seen the borders shut to New South Wales as it is. The big watch now is, what does Gladys Berejiklian do? Does she, bow to pressure and go into a full statewide lockdown? Does she just lock down Greater Sydney and hope that it doesn't spread? I wouldn't like to be her tonight.
No, I wouldn't like to be her tonight either.